how I was scared to death, half naked, looking down the barrel of an M16 rifle, heart pounding, moments from pulling the trigger, 2 seconds from almost being killed, to be suddenly slapped over the head with a bizarre binder that saved the life of Patricia Ron, a 45-year-old out-of-shape woman who had a sudden heart attack caused by symptoms she didn't even know she had, to mysteriously lose over 38 pounds in 4 weeks without a sign of any health problems to save her own life. Yep, you heard me correctly, 38 pounds in 4 short weeks. Going from this to this, without any surgery, pills, or butt-busting workouts whatsoever. And you'll be shocked, maybe even disturbed, when you discover the unconventional method used to melt away all her unwanted body fat and miraculously regenerate every youthful cell in her body in such a short period of time. Patricia was frustrated with her weight for years, following the usual advice of fitness experts such as cranking up the cardio and dieting more. But the breakthrough came from an unlikely source, from one of the top universities in Massachusetts, that would change her life forever. A method so effective and so outlandish, it would be banned instantly if it ever made it to mainstream TV. In the next 3 minutes, you'll discover the lies and unethical schemes the $40 billion health industry is subliminally feeding you that not only hinders your weight loss efforts, but even worse, you can have the early signs of heart disease or cancer right now and not even know it without using this method. Lies such as why salty foods, such as chips and french fries, are not the culprit for weight gain. Also, how certain vegetables that most people think are healthy create serious thyroid problems that add fat to your stomach area, even if you are busting your butt in the gym every day. Not to mention the counterintuitive reasons hailed by Dr. Mercola of why extreme cardio like marathon running and over-exercising eventually causes heart scarring and accelerates the aging process. Or the scientifically proven truth on how fat-free, sugar-free, gluten-free, and low-carb diets will accelerate your weight because of 2 body-fattening amino acids that are lurking in most of our foods you think are healthy. This might be scary to hear, but you're going to discover the 2 acids that are injected into most foods that we've been led to believe are healthy. Both of them transport deadly trans fats right into your bloodstream, destroying the body's metabolic system and halts the production of thyroid hormones, especially in women, which results in abnormal fat storage, specifically around your stomach and thigh area. And you're going to be furious with tears when I peel the onion and reveal the untold truth about Weight Watchers spokesperson Jennifer Hudson's magical body transformation. And get this, the skinny body you see on the right did not come from using the Weight Watchers point system. And in a few seconds, you will know the undisputable truth on how celebrities really lose weight in such a short period of time right inside this video. But the most unusual thing is Patricia Ron's miraculous breakthrough would be revealed when I was shipped off to serve my country in Iraq, trapped in a bunker with soldiers, seconds from almost being killed. But on the bright side, if you stick with me to the very end of this short video that I will be forced to take down soon because of pending lawsuits from popular gym chains and big pharma companies, so be sure to handle your mouse with care. One accidental click could mean missing out on information that could save your life like it did Patricia's. You are going to be shown the exact fat melting system that is scientifically proven to rapidly and permanently melt away every chunk of fat off your body, dramatically catapulting your vitality, boosting your energy and sex drive to optimal levels, significantly minimizing your risk from life-threatening metabolic diseases like hypertension, heart disease, diabetes, and reversing all effects of aging on your body by decades in as little as a few short weeks from now. This fat melting method will deliver you a total body transformation, requires no supplements, no sweaty workouts, no crazy diet plans, no overpriced ineffective weight loss products, and doesn't require any pump yourself up motivation rituals to do it. And it will work for people of any age, any body type, and in any state of physical health because the scientific method is based on sound physiology and anatomical principles. But before we go any further, I must warn you of something. The weight loss industry is filled with blood-sucking, money-hungry vultures, the sneaky marketing masterminds behind Atkins, Weight Watchers, and the infamous Beachbody bozos The ones who have been secretly making billions of dollars off your pain and suffering, while behind your back, raking in profits, seducing you to buy their next product with more lies and false claims. But what really pisses me off is this. These companies are so vicious that they are even trying to hang me by a noose, destroying my credibility with false accusations and even sending me nasty cease and desist letters in an effort to keep me quiet about the weight loss secret I'm about to expose right inside this video. Imagine feeling a jolt of energy tomorrow morning like you did in your 20s. Even if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s right now, you will see your stubborn belly that hangs over your belt or pokes out of your dress completely vanish. You will suddenly look and feel 10 times healthier than you have in the last 20 years, and you will find that all of the symptoms and causes of your most major health conditions, things like hyperthyroidism, high cholesterol, high blood pressure, chronic joint pain, even the early signs of cancer, have completely faded away from your body in a manner that is so unbelievable, so unimaginable, it would make even the most dedicated atheist look up to the sky and say there is a God. Now, the secret I'm about to share with you is so simple, so easy, that even in the next few days, the results you will see in the mirror are going to be indescribable and so astonishing that it probably sounds almost unbelievable when you first hear about it. You will likely wonder how something like this got past you in the first place. To be honest, quitting my job and putting myself in harm's way to support my country by joining the armed forces, I felt the exact same way when I was first told about the incredible scientific breakthrough about a fat-burning cycle buried in the human anatomy that Westerners, Canadians, Australians, and European countries were threatened and forced to keep quiet about. At first, I thought this was a bunch of hogwash, feeding me a lot of false claims I've already heard before. But it felt unreal observing the rapid body transformations of once out-of-shape courageous soldiers on a C-130 flying home, excited to show their families how fit and lean they were. Seeing Patricia's body physically transform right before my eyes, and seeing the outrageous weekly growth of my weight loss camp of thousands of people just like you and me, all try it out for themselves and experience unbelievable, unheard of, life-changing results. I was absolutely convinced that what I'm about to share with you will give you the lean, healthy physique and confidence you either always wanted but never had, or once had and lost decades ago. But the most mind-blowing was this. It will diminish every toxin, free radical, and heavy metal from your body to free up unused energy that will have you feeling light and young again. And not to mention, it will totally and permanently rejuvenate your every bad cell in your body, reversing virtually all of your medical problems, conditions, and diseases, and genetically lowering your age by at least 10 years. That is exactly what happened for Crystal in Houston, Texas. She lost more than 30 pounds and several inches in a very short period of time. She was shocked in a J. Crew dressing room when she discovered she dropped from a size 15 dress to a size 9. Or even Charles from Houston, Texas, who lost 40 pounds in 5.5 weeks and saved over $200 a month because he didn't have to purchase any more diabetic prescriptions from his drugstore. Or Linda from Detroit, Michigan, who used this simple method you're about to discover to lose over 30 pounds in her first month. Or James from Rockford, Illinois. He lost 20 pounds in less than 4 weeks while on the road traveling to work. And not only did he lose his unwanted body fat, but he also looks and feels way younger now. Here's what Jennifer from Little Rock, Arkansas says. What you shared in your presentation was amazing, especially toward the end. Before I watched your video, my doctor said I was 25 pounds overweight and my blood pressure was off the charts. I didn't think there was hope, and I thought it was over. Even though I was so skeptical at first, after you explained the science behind the technique in such an easy-to-understand fashion, I figured I would give it a try. That was the best decision I have ever made. And it has only been 33 days and I've already lost 26 pounds. That's 7.5 pounds a week. And incredibly enough, I am medically no longer considered a diabetic. I can't believe how powerful this stuff is. Thank you for sharing. Those are just a few of the tens of thousands of off-the-cuff success stories I've received, and I will reveal a few more with you in a minute. But before I do, it is important I tell you how this works and why it will not only transform your body, but also save your life. Like I mentioned before, my name is Wes, and yep, you guessed it, I'm a single dad, and here's me and my munchkins being silly in a photo I took a week ago. And even though being labeled as a celebrity trainer by my peers, rubbing elbows with top fitness infomercial gurus such as Shark Tank, Class Act, Kevin Harrington, and transforming men's and women's bodies at some of the largest weight loss camps in the country. Looking back, it almost feels surreal, and it was a humbling feeling to be labeled as the top world authority on body transformations, who has the reputation of taking the most challenging clients from other trainers and completely transforming their bodies in weeks. But I'm really no different than you. I just stumbled upon an unusual formula that radically changed Patricia Ron, a 45-year-old out-of-shape woman whose transformation, as you can see, is pretty darn incredible. And I will tell you a secret. Not only does she look and feel physically better, but she even used this exact method to save the life of her 9-year-old daughter. But like most of us, including myself, Patricia was still skeptical. Even though she looked physically amazing and had the energy of a 25-year-old, she wanted medical scientific proof. So she went as far as getting a full physical done at the Mayo Medical Clinic, including genetic scans and detailed lab analysis. The doctors all concluded that even though she was in her 40s, her body, from a biological standpoint, had the anatomical makeup of a 26-year-old. That's a pretty remarkable thing to be told by some of the most respected doctors in the world. But it's even more remarkable when you consider that just years ago, Patricia was an out-of-shape diabetic woman who suffered from hypothyroidism, feeling tired and sluggish all the time. Even the MRI scans were so dreadful, the doctor told her it wasn't safe for her to drive home. And even though Patricia wanted to do better, she felt too lazy and tired after work to run on the treadmill or do any type exercise at a sweaty, germ-filled gym. But she didn't realize things were that bad. It all happened so soon. I still remember my heart dropping to the floor when Patricia told me the horrifying incident that almost took her life on June 2012. Patricia was training for her first 3K marathon, jogging with her daughter at the park. But soon she noticed her training was getting harder rather than easier. As she struggled, she told herself she just wasn't working hard enough and just pushed herself harder and harder. 2 miles into a long run, she felt a burning sensation on the right side of her stomach and throbbing chest pains, which made her drop to her hands and knees, breathing harshly as if she was having a severe asthma attack. And instead of stopping and patting herself on the back for running 2 miles, which she hadn't done in years, she got up. Still feeling stomach and chest pains, pushed herself to run an additional mile. And this is where everything went wrong. Patricia, who was only 43 at the time, didn't realize those were warning signs. Something was seriously wrong with her heart. 4 days later, around midnight on a Saturday night, she had a painful feeling in her chest. So painful, it was hard for her to breathe. She'd had spicy Thai food for dinner and figured it was just heartburn. She took some antacids and sat up for a while, hoping the pain would go away. But the one thing we fear most was about to happen to Patricia. When both arms started to ache, she took a pain reliever. However, a few hours later, she still had pain and began searching for answers online. Many sites suggested heartburn, but one described her symptoms as like those of having a massive heart attack. As if on cue, she immediately broke out into a cold sweat. By then, it was 8 a.m., and she knew she needed to rush to the emergency room. She even drove herself to the emergency room, suggesting her husband stay home to take her daughter to camp in case she didn't return home in time. That visit to the doctor would change her life forever. On June 6th, she would be told her BMI was over 40 and was pre-diagnosed with symptoms of heart disease as a result of her weight. 1,000 things ran through her mind at the moment her doctor gave her those devastating words. Everything was so loud inside her head that she could barely hear her own thoughts. She would leave the doctor's office in disbelief that evening. She didn't get a wink of sleep that night. She must have walked into her daughter's room 1,000 times that night, wondering if she'd be lucky enough to see her princess grow up. But then frustration and anxiety kicked in. She kept wondering, will I get to see my daughter grow up? Will I be able to accomplish the things I'm trying to accomplish, like finishing my degree and getting my business off the ground? As she watched her daughter get on the bus the following morning with a smile and a wave goodbye, she stood in the doorway almost in tears, wondering, how many more mornings do I get to enjoy this sight? Frankly, it was one hell of a wake-up call for Patricia, especially because prior to the incident, she didn't know how bad her health really was. Sure, she knew she needed to lose a few pounds. However, over time, her clothes started to feel tighter and tighter, month after month and year after year.